right, so the next knot we're going to perform is the double uni knot. This is a great way to add tippet to your leader. I believe it to be a lot easier to perform than the blood knot because you're kind of separating the knot into two separate stages and you're not trying to hold everything in your hands at one time. This is really good for similar or varying diameter of material. It's super strong and it's a lot quicker to do than a blood knot. So I'm going to overlap my material about 12 to 14 inches. Again, as a beginner, you want a little extra. As a beginner, you want a little extra for your with your tag ends, but as you get better, you'll be able to do this with less of an overlap. So I'm going to go ahead and run these two along one another, and starting off on this right side, I'm going to wrap the blue material around the orange, but first I'm going to make a little loop. So I make a loop kind of going clockwise and pinch it. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little extra space, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap to the right around the orange and the blue. What I like about this knot is you're doing kind of one thing at a time. So it's one wrap, two wraps, and I'm pinching in between each wrap. Three wraps, and I'm just going to do 4 wraps. In your smaller material, like I've mentioned in the other videos, you would do 5 or 6 or even up to 8 wraps for smaller material. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this tag end, and you'll see it kind of makes like what looks like half of a blood knot. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to 180 the material. So I'm going to move and actually move everything over to this right side. I'm going to do the same exact thing I did before, but I'm going to do it with the opposing color. So I'm going to wrap the orange, make a loop, little counterclockwise or a little clockwise loop there. I'm going to lay it on top. I'm going to pinch, and then I'm going to wrap through the blue and the orange loop. So blue standing end and then the orange loop that we made. And I'm going to do 4 wraps, but you could do up to 6 or 8. Four wraps, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull that tight. Again, makes the other half of a blood knot. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold both standing ends and I'm going to pull them together. And that, when they butt up against each other, is when that knot really seats nice and tight. You can then double check by pulling on your tag ends, ensure that knot is nice and tight. That is the double uni knot. It's a lot easier to do than a blood knot. It's more reliable than a surgeon's knot, and it'll leave your tag ends really nicely in line, so it'll be one that also goes through your guides if need be, nice and cleanly. Thanks for watching. If you have any knots that you want to learn how to do, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment, and we'll try to answer it for you. Appreciate it.